everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
Okay, so I just got flown out to hang out with a man. I met him on a dating app like months and months ago, but he keeps trying to like get me to go here and there, and it's always like on a weekend that I'm busy. This time I had no excuse, and I am interested, but I just didn't really know much about him. So this week we kind of talked a lot more. We did FaceTime, so I know that he's real. But now I'm in LA, and we've talked a lot this week, so I've learned like who he is a lot more. A few red flags have popped up, but like I already had my flights booked, I already have my days off from work, so I'm like, at this point we'll do it for the plot and hope for the best. So yeah, I guess I'll let you know let you guys know how it goes. I got home yesterday, but I needed to like shower and decompress and like just do a bunch of stuff to make myself feel better for what the I just went through. Okay, so I went to LA back in May, the end of May, with my best friend. She lives in San Diego. I met up with her there. We got a hotel and we went and saw the Kendrick and SZA concert. The next day, when we're like driving back to San Diego after the concert, I downloaded Tinder because I was bored in the car, and I was like, hey, let's just see if I can have some fun while I'm here. I like matched with a couple people, but then pretty quickly I decided, yeah, this ain't for me, and I deleted the app. Well, one of the people I matched was with this dude, and we exchanged social medias. And he's been like following me since, whatever, like liking some stories, like commenting here and there, and like he keeps trying to say like, oh, we should link. And I keep kind of being like, kind of like interested, but not really. Like, I think he's cute or whatever, but I'm just like, I don't know. Anyway, a couple weeks back, he reached out to me again and was like, it's my birthday weekend. I'm going to go to Vegas. You should meet me there. Like, he's like, I'll pay for your flight, whatever. And I'm like, okay, but like, what's the plan? Like, I don't really feel comfortable being there, like, with a stranger that I've never met, whatever. And he was like, well, he offered, like, to get, like, a suite. And then he's like, you can bring a friend. You guys could take the couch. Or you guys could take the bed and I'll take the couch, whatever. I just want you here. Like, I don't really care. Like, I'll make sure you're comfortable. So I was kind of open to that. I'm like, oh, it's a hotel, like, in Vegas. It's pretty public. There's people going to be around. Like, if I have a friend, I definitely will feel better. And then he, like, texts me when it gets closer. Because I was like, okay, well, if we're doing this, like, what's the flight situation? Like, trying to figure that out. And then he's like, okay, change of plans. I'm going to stay in LA and I'm going to rent out a boat. And I'm like, okay, well, then what's the plan? And he's like, oh, I'm going to get a boat. We're going to do this, this, and this. And I'm like, no, I mean, like, what's the plan with me? Like, I've already told you I don't feel comfortable just, like, being in a space with a strange man, like, by myself, And he's like, oh, we're going to stay at my loft. And I was just like, yeah, no. And I just didn't even respond. Then a week later, I like told him happy birthday or whatever. And then like a few days later, he was like, okay, well, what about this weekend? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't have any plans. Like, what should we do? And he's like, oh, we could go to San Diego and like you could meet up with your best friend and like I'll get a suite. And like if she wants to stay like at the suite with us, like I'll sleep on the couch. Same situation. He's like trying to make me feel comfortable. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds cool. So then like it comes down to, mind you, at this point we've just been messaging, and then he like started FaceTiming me leading up to this because he's like really trying to make sure that I feel comfortable, because I told him I don't feel comfortable because I don't know you. I haven't even had a confirmation that you are who you say you are, And so yeah, he like starts FaceTiming me, and every time he FaceTimes me, he has his hat on, which is like, I'm like, And then like at one point he FaceTimed me and he had his head like down like this. Anyway, we're just like talking about the plans, and it comes down to doing the flights, and he like told me this story about this person that he flew out and they like ditched him to like go spend time with someone who's like a club owner, because they were like from Miami and they were like trying to move out to LA and they were like trying to make connections, and he like felt used because he had paid for that person's flight and hotel or whatever, and then they just ditched. And I was like, oh, that sucks. So like when I brought up the flight, he was like, I wouldn't feel comfortable. Like my new rule is like I don't pay for the flight until after you're here. Like you book the flight and I'll give you cash. And I was like trying to be understanding and probably a little too understanding. So I did that. I was like, okay, I'll book the flight and like you can do the cash. Like I get that. But then he also told me this story of this girl like he flew out, or no, she was just visiting, and then they linked up, and then she was at his place, and then he had a flight the next day because he like works in TV or whatever, so he had to like go be on set somewhere. And the girl apparently like he let her sleep in or whatever, and then she like robbed him and like stole a bunch of his like designer sweaters and shit. And he tried to reach out to her and be like, "Can I have my stuff back?" And then she was like, "Oh, blah blah blah, like your shit is fucking nasty, like your place is gross and like ghetto," and like he's like saying all these things, and I'm like, part of me is like, okay, yeah, that just sounds like someone who got called out and is just attacking. But also like people don't just say like the specific things that he's saying she said about him. I'm just like, mind you, I had already like taken care of the flights at this point when we were talking, and he has like talked about like how his job and like how he like is a movie producer, like he's like, and I've seen him post like stories of him being on set like at different like America's Got Talent, I think is one of them or whatever. So like I know there's some validity to who he says that he is, but I'm also just like kind of taking notes on little things that are just like red flags. Like, why would a girl randomly say like all this shit about you being gross and like whatever? And then I'm also just like, why the fuck? I straight up told him, I was like, why would you leave a stranger in your home? I'm like, I don't even allow people that I don't really know that well to be at my home. Like, no one has my address unless I know them pretty well, like for the most part. Anyway, so he was like, yeah. I was like, so what did we learn? And he was like, yeah, I get that, blah, blah. So then the original plan was, right, I'm flying into LA, we're driving to San Diego, have a suite there, like meeting up with my friend to hang out for one of the days, whatever. And we're just gonna have like a chill time, whatever. He's like, you don't need to worry, like, I'll be, you just bring yourself, like all this, whatever. And, yeah, so then it comes closer and it's like, the weather says it's supposed to rain all weekend. And he's like, oh, well, maybe we should like not do San Diego. Maybe we should just stay in LA. There's Camp Flog Gnaw. We could like go to that and that would be fun. And I was like, okay, yeah. Like I looked at the lineup and I was like, yeah, Camp Flog Gnaw, that could be really fun. Camp Flog Gnaw, not Nog. Camp Flog Gnaw could be really fun. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm open to that. So then he like cancels the suite, but I'm like, I kind of like forgot to like confirm like there was a different hotel because I, again, don't feel comfortable staying in this strange person's place. And he had kind of said like, oh, we could just see how you feel and then I'll book it. And I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like the sound of that. So anyway, I get to the airport, whatever, and he's like, oh, there's a little bit of traffic. And you landed early, like I may be like 10, 20 minutes, whatever. So that's when I made that first video. I'm like, oh, I might as well like do a story time. And then I'm like waiting, and then he's like, oh, I drive a red BMW, and I'm like looking for it, whatever, and I see it. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I had already told my friend, like, there were some things popping up, like, the, like, insecurity, red flags, like, him, like, only ever having a hat on in pictures and not allowing me to, like, see his head. Like, he probably is bald, and I told her that, like, I don't really give a shit, but I do care if someone's, like, super insecure about it, because then it becomes your fucking problem. Like, same thing with height, like, we were, like, looking through his pictures a little bit, and I was like, oh, like, I'm trying to see how tall he is, like, I prefer taller men, but like I also don't care, but I do care when someone's like insecure. Like I don't have an issue with it, but clearly you do have an issue with it, and you're gonna make that my problem, and I'm not with that. Like I don't do insecure. And so this man's pulling up, and as soon as I saw his car, I was like, oh shit! Like the car is like missing chunks. It looks filthy, like even from the outside. And then he pulls up, like, grabs my bags, being gentlemanly, and, like, says hi or whatever. And his clothes are dirty. Like, he's dirty. And then I, like, go to get in the car. The door handle, like, doesn't work the first time. I had to do it, like, 3 times. And then it, like, opens, and the inside of his car is filthy. And then I look over, and he doesn't even have gas. Like, literally, gas light is on. And I'm like, you knew I was coming for the last 2 days. He, like, didn't have to work like the two days before I came, and he literally called me like 10 times in a day one of the days, and I just ignored him after a while because I was like, what the and that's when I was like, oh god, this may not be good, but I've already booked everything, and like I'm the one that paid, so I like didn't use my miles for one of them, and I paid like $180 for the flight, and I didn't get insurance on that one, so like I guess I could have gotten a credit maybe, but I was like, honestly, like, we're gonna go to the stuff, like, we'll be out and active, like, even if it's bad, like, I'll be able to, like, just make the most of it. So I was like, oh, it'll be fine. Bro. somehow it went from we're going to be in this suite and doing all this stuff to I'm going to be at his place and we're going to go to a festival. But then, guess what? The festival gets canceled. So, like, we stopped for gas. We stopped for gas because he didn't have gas. And, bro, he only put, like, maybe $10 in his gas can. And I'm like, dude, this is not a person who has the funds to be flying anybody out. You have no business flying anybody out if you can't even put more than $10 of gas in your car, my guy. Like, baby boy, like, let's prioritize here. And you're dirty, your car's dirty. Like, anyway, so we go by his place, which is like a downtown loft, which was a decent, like, loft. Like, it wasn't like bad, but it was dirty. And when we first went by, I didn't really notice how bad it was. But we just dropped my stuff off, and I was like, I'm hungry. My flight was like early, and it was like noon at this point, like 12:30, almost 1. And I hadn't eaten anything. I had like a snack, but like whatever. So we drop my bags off, and we go get brunch. Like at brunch, we're like conversing, and I'm just like picking up on things here and there. I get there, I realize his car is kind of a little bit sketchy. He's a little bit dirty. We go by his place. On the way to his place, he like stopped. He's like, oh, I'm gonna grab something really quick. Goes in this little convenience store, and like, mind you, I still have my like luggage and stuff. I'm just like standing there waiting on him, and he's like getting condoms, and I'm just like grossed out. Like, he felt the need to like do that in front of me. Like, I don't know. I just felt like he was like trying to make these weird jokes that I was just like not having it. Like, ew. And then he tried to say later, like, he just thought it would be funny, and I'm like, that's not funny. Like, you're being a weirdo. And so then we get to his place, and I said, like, I didn't notice how bad it was, but I actually did, because he had, like, this wagon of, like, snacks and stuff that he had got, which I thought was really nice. Like, he asked me some things that I like to drink and eat, whatever, that he should grab for me. And we get to his place, and I'm, like, dropping off my bags and then also helping him unload the groceries to, like, put them away so we can go to brunch. As I go to put the, like, Gatorades into the fridge, I open up the fridge, and that shit was so nasty. Like, there was like no actual food in there, but there was like caked on like juices and like dried up like nasty old remnants of food everywhere. And like, it was just, I genuinely felt like something might jump out at me. And like, I'm honestly surprised I didn't see like roaches coming from under the fridge or like something to that effect. Like, it was just not clean at all. So I noticed immediately, like, oh God, like, that's bad. There wasn't like shit around his house or anything like that, but it was just like legitimately dirty, like actual dirt. And so we go to brunch, and then like at brunch, we're just like conversing or whatever. We get the food or whatever, like just getting to know each other. But he keeps like like all the questions are just like very sexual. Like, everything he's asking about me is like, it's just always revolving around sex, and I was like getting irritated. But then somehow we got on the topic of like finances, and he was saying like he's been with the same bank for like a really long time, like almost 10 years or something. And he like went to take out a personal loan, and he got denied. It got brought up because I was talking about like a person who like posted a story time on TikTok, and he was saying like he found out this girl he was going on a date with was married, which is f***ed up and not okay. But then he also said in that same story that he didn't have the money to like pay the bill in his card, and he had to like transfer money from a refund that he got to cover. And I'm like, if you don't have $50 in your bank account, you should probably not be taking anybody on a date. You should be at home. So that's the reason why this conversation got brought up. And then he tells me that he got denied for a personal loan of $2,000. And I'm like, I work in finance, by the way. And I didn't even need to be someone in finance to know that that's bullshit. Like, because I asked him, do you have a bad credit score? And he's like, no, I don't know why they denied me. And I'm like, bro, they don't deny you if you have a good credit score for a small loan of $2,000. That just doesn't happen. I'm sorry. I have an 820-ish credit score. It goes up and down, you know, whatever. And banks are basically harassing me, trying to get me to take out credit cards, trying to get me to take out loans. Like, that's just not a real story. Like, I'm sorry. You tell yourself that, like, but that's not based in reality. So, like, I'm just, like, noticing that he views himself, like, in this, like, really, like, he thinks very highly of himself, and he's a little bit like, his views on reality are so distorted, it's, like, not matching up. Mind you, this person, like, has designer stuff on his, like, pictures, like, has designer items, and I make a pretty decent amount of money. Like, I literally bought myself a house last year, and I don't purchase designer things because it's not in my, like, tax bracket. Like, it's just not practical for me. If I can't afford to like regularly purchase something, I just don't think that it's like realistic. Like, it's just not, I'm not there. So the fact that someone who isn't able to like put gas in their car, buys like designer items, like I don't know, it just shows that you just don't have good management, like money management skills. And like the fact that you got denied for a $2,000 loan, which is a really small amount, is like just more proof that that's the case. So then we have that conversation, and I'm just kind of like taking notes and like, you know, whatever, and mental notes and whatever. And then we go back to his place and we're just like hanging out, and I'm really tired. Like I woke up at like 5:30 or like 6 in the morning to like get ready, like gather my things to get to the airport to get there. And so I like was really tired. I also just started my period, so like my body's tired. So I'm like, you know, I kind of want to just like chill for a second, maybe take a nap. And he keeps like trying to be close to me and touch me. And like, I'm like, I repeatedly told him, like, I am not the person who's physical, I'm like with someone in off the rip. Like, I take time. I'm a slow burn. And I've said that repeatedly through our conversations. He keeps bringing up like sexual questions, like about my dating history, but it's always pointed towards like sex. And I'm like saying, like, reverting the conversation to be like more emotional because that's who I am. So then he started like trying to kiss me and touch me and stuff, and I'm just like grossed out. I don't feel comfortable being in a space because it's, like I said, it's dirty. Like he had plants like lined up on the windowsill, and there's like dead leaves and like dirt on the windowsill where they had like fallen over, and he just like picked it up and left the dirt and dead leaves everywhere. Like I took my shoes off to like walk around for a second, and then I was like, oh yeah, I have slippers. And then I took my slippers out, put my slippers on. Just the few minutes that I didn't have shoes on, my socks got ruined. And I literally took a video when I got home of how disgusting my socks were from walking around for just a short period of time in this person's home. And I'm just like, ew. Anyway, so we're like watching TV, and I'm like trying to nap, but he just keeps trying to talk and like touch me and stuff. So I like kind of create distance, and he's like, oh, I'll be over here. I'll let you try to rest. And then we ended up he made me like the drink that I like told him to get. And I watched him make it, so like I'm not worried about, you know, that. But then like we started playing this game that he pulled out, which was like a dig deep game, but really it was literally just like a game asking about your sexual history, like over and over and over. Like every question was about sex. It's like one of those games to get to know someone, but literally it was just about sex. So I just kind of started getting irritated because he kept like pushing things a little bit too much, like beyond like what I was comfortable with. So I was like shutting down a lot of the like questions a bit. I'm like answering and like, you know, being myself, but also like he kept trying to make it like more than it was. Like, but then he'd be like, no, I'm not trying to like say that we have to do anything. I'm just curious about you. I'm so interested in you. But then like would make these like gross jokes, and then also just started showing insecurity. He literally was like, what did I say about talking about the things that you did, like, before you knew me? Like, I don't want to hear about you having fun with other people, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, and I'm going to repeatedly tell you, like, you're not going to tell me what I can and can't talk about. Also, you're asking me questions about my history, like, and then trying to dictate how I answer so that you don't have to think about the fact that I've, like, been with other people. I'm 31 years old. Like, I have a history. I was engaged before. Like, it was just crazy the way that he was trying to control the conversation and was also trying to like be physical. And whenever I was like, one of the questions that the card asked was like, what's a non-sexual like turn off? And I was like, someone trying to coerce me and like convince me to be intimate with them. And it's funny because that's literally exactly what he was trying to do the entire time. And it was just a lot. One of the things that popped up too was like, he was like, when's the last time you sent a nude or like a risky photo? And I was like, oh, a couple weeks ago. And he's like, oh, so you can send pictures to other people, but not me, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, you can't really compare relationships. I don't know you. Like, I may be comfortable doing something with one person, but not comfortable with you. I literally don't know you. Also, that's like, it was just very weird. Like, he kept saying shit like that, like comparing and moping about the fact that I wasn't doing things with him that I had done with other people. And he like got up to like go do something, and then I was just like sitting there on my phone for a while, and he came back all grumpy, and I was like, what's wrong? Oh, that's when he made me the food, and he was like not saying a word to me. And then whenever I like eating, I was like, oh, you're not gonna eat? He's like, no, I'm not hungry. And then I was like, is something wrong? And then he was like, yeah, I just feel like I'm trying, and you're giving me nothing. And I'm like, interesting. His version of him trying was just trying to be physical with me, and I was not giving him anything because I don't know you. And I told him, like, it takes me time. Like, I don't understand how you think I'm not giving you anything when I've been like chatting, we've been having like laughing and like whatever. Like, I'm shutting down when I feel like you're doing too much, but like I'm also still like not being completely closed off. I'm just genuinely being like myself. And he was like, well, you you wouldn't even show me like your a nude, but you've sent some to other people. And then he was like, what else did he say? He was like, you that you have had a one night stand, but you wouldn't even, but you told me that I'm not allowed to like touch you or whatever. Like you didn't want to be physical with me. And I'm like, okay, yes, I've had a one night stand before. But like I said, every relationship is different. And that was like 10 years ago. I'm not that person. I'm 31. I don't view relationships that way. That's just not who I am. I don't get physically intimate with anyone, holding hands or hugging or like a lot of hugging or touching. Like in the first, I only haven't, mind you, this is like 8 p.m. I met this dude at 1, like he picked me up from the airport like 12:30. Like you're already trying to be physically intimate with me. That's wild to me. Like that's just not who I am. But he's like already comparing, like, whoa, blah, blah, blah. And like, it reminded me of the freaking Edmund or whatever when he was like on Love is Blind, whenever he is like, finds out that she's had one night stands, but she doesn't want to hook up with him until they're like officially married. That was this dude. Literally, like, I'm just too nice.
She's a yapper, and she got like 5 parts of this stuff. And you know what? I'm not even mad at this. What it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. We back with another lit video. Listen, there's a couple things with this situation. You know, I have a video. It's on my channel where a guy goes to a woman's house and she's hella dirty, and he stays and he like he's getting killed in the comments about being in this woman's house and it's dirty. First of all, that floor was crazy. I don't like walking around with our shoes on. As you can see, I got my slippers on right now. I got my Kobe slippers on. I had to say that because they're the most comfortable. If you can get online on Nike.com, and I'm not getting paid for this, but they got the Kobe slippers are the softest slippers you'll ever buy. I promise you. And they only like $40. But anyway, that was just a shameless plug. But her going to his house. First of all, if you're going out of town to meet somebody, go get a hotel. Never go to their house. And that's a bad. This was a bad idea from the get go. Go to a hotel. Mind you, this is how I like to do it. And actually, it's not even how I like to do it. It's like, if the woman, even if she does stay the night with me, if she gives me what I want, which obviously I want some sex, but if she gives me that, it's not that I won't respect her. I just know I'll still respect her. I'll still know like we can always get down. We can always make stuff happen. But it's just like, you gotta at least be nice about it. There's certain things you can't just jump inside of it. Like there's no woman is just gonna let you jump in, or the women shouldn't let you just jump inside of it. They do, but that doesn't matter. To each his own. But at least make something out of it. Make something interesting to where it's like, oh, this is more than just sex, and you coming out here and this is more than sex. Like, where's the conversation? Where's the friendship? Where's the getting to know you? Because it seems like she met this guy on Tinder, and I'm not saying he made excuses of why he didn't, but then when you came to his house, he made no effort. He made 0 effort to make you feel at home. And that's just bad. Like, the fact that she has 5 parts to this story, we're gonna listen to one more part, and I'll probably just pull the plug on it, because at this point, she's asking us for sympathy for her bad decisions. And if you're 31, if you're talking about you had one night stands when you're 21, where you paid you paid for a flight to go out to see a guy to stay at his house. You don't know who he is. You don't know what he looked like, but you wanted to stay at his house. I don't think the same. I don't think you're making any better decisions than you did 10 years ago when you were having one night stands. I actually think that's an even worse decision, seeing that this guy now has you in his spot. As there's been a, she must not watch my channel. How many guys are violent, crazy? Now, I'm not saying every guy is violent and crazy, but like, y'all just fall for the dumbest shit. And y'all think that it's just like, man, I could tell y'all so many things about like people and how you gotta, but I'm not giving up personal business, but especially nobody's personal business. But it's just like, man, y'all just gotta think better when y'all dating, and especially if you dating somebody not in your city. Like, you just gotta think better. Like, going to somebody's house is crazy. You know, man, I could tell y'all so much because yes, I know where people stay, but do I go to their house? No. Why am I go to your house? I don't know you like that. And you should feel like that as a man. As a woman, you definitely shouldn't go to a man's house at all, unless you feel safe with that man. Like, there has to be a reason. There has to be a substantial reason why you feel safe going to a man's house. Like, you not gonna be the only person there. You pulling up to that man's house, you the only person there. You must be smoking rocks. And that's why one more. What part be on? Let's do part 4, and she got part 5, but we'll see.
I think this is part 4. So part 4. Basically, we played that card game or whatever. Had like an espresso martini and whatever, and we're just like playing. I was just, being lighthearted, making jokes or whatever. And then anytime I felt like he was kind of pushing me beyond what I felt I was comfortable with, I would just shut it down, and that was that. And I thought he was handling it well, but then when I came back from getting ready, I was like, oh, I'm hungry. And so that's when he made the food. And then he was like moping, and I confronted him, and I was like, is something wrong? That's when he started saying like, oh, I feel like I'm trying, and you're giving me nothing. And I was like, well, I thought we were having a good time. Like, I guess I'm just confused. Like, we're like joking around and stuff, but I think he just didn't like that. He was trying to like touch me and stuff, and I was shutting that down because I'm not interested in being touched by you. I don't know you. And honestly, I'm just grossed out by the state of your place. Like, and when I went to the bathroom to get ready, bro, I like took a little video of underneath his sink. I wish he'd have taken more videos because there's like in his shower, there's like that like orange ring that happens when you don't clean the shower. There's like hair everywhere. I didn't even really see soap. And like the place was just disgusting. Like there was hand towels in there that looked like when you like wash something and the whole towel's like soaked and then it dries all crusted and like gross. That's what his towels looked like. So like when I washed my face or like rinsed my face off, I used toilet paper to pat it dry because I was not about to put any of those things near my face. And yeah, I was just grossed out, whatever. But so when I come back from getting ready, before I went to get ready, he like said that he wants to help me pick out my outfit. And I only brought a couple things. I was only planning on being there for like 2.5 days. So like there wasn't a lot of options. I just brought a carry-on. I didn't bring a full bag. And it was raining. So like my options were really only 2 things. And I didn't bring the right shoes for the dress that I brought. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to wear this. And he was like, oh, okay. But before I like was like, do you want to help me pick out my outfit? Like, cause that's what he had said that he wanted to do. And then I was like, oh, well, I guess I didn't bring the right shoes for this dress. So like, I'm just going to wear this. And then he's just like, oh, okay. And like turns around, whatever. I didn't really think of anything of it. But when I came back and I was like, what's wrong? And he went on that whole spiel of like, I'm trying. And you're giving me nothing. He brought up like, well, I even said that I wanted to help you pick out your outfit. And then you just didn't let me. And I'm like, I didn't think it was that serious. Like, I only have 2 options. One of them I said wasn't an option. So then I was like, I was like, you know, you didn't get up to like actually help me. Like, I just didn't think that you cared that much, and that you shouldn't care that much. Like, that's absolutely insane. So then, he also, like, during that conversation where he's telling me why he basically, we're just like talking in circles about how he feels like he's doing all these things. He's like, oh, I just planned all this stuff for you. And like, mind you, the stuff he planned was like the hotel that he canceled. Like, he didn't rebook a hotel, which I told him I didn't feel comfortable staying at his place. And I'm like, okay, where the fuck am I sleeping? Because I don't want to be sleeping here. And then the backup plan, because San Diego wasn't happening, was to go to Camp Flognaw. Well, he only got put on the wait list. He didn't actually buy any tickets. And then as we're like playing that card game, we realized that Camp Flognaw got canceled and moved to the next weekend. So we're like, we don't know what we're doing, whatever. But I had said, oh, it might be fun to like go do like some thrifting. Like, we're in LA. Like, I've never been to thrift shops here. I would love that. I think that would be fun. And anyway, so he's like, I done all this and you're giving me nothing. And I'm like, what did you even do? Like, you wait till the last minute to get the snacks. You barely even had gas in your car. Like, you haven't planned anything, bro. Like, I don't know. So I was like, let's just try to get out of this funk or whatever. Like, I'll finish like getting ready and then let's go like walk around to the bars before we go to this club that we're going to. So we like go to these bars and he's still like just being grumpy, not talking to me. He's like standing there, like we go to a bar, like a Hispanic bar, and they're like playing music and people are like dancing, whatever, super crowded. And he's just standing there like staring off, like people watching, and I'm like trying to talk to him and he's not really saying much. And then we go to a second bar, also same thing, he's just not saying shit. And then we go to leave to go to this club. So on the way to the club, mind you, it's like 12:30 a.m. I have been up since like 6 a.m. because he didn't let me sleep. And the club is like 20 minutes away, and the car's like warm, like I'm sleepy. I kind of dozed off for a second, and he gets mad. He's like, are you really falling asleep right now? And I'm like, sorry, I'm just tired. Like, I told you I was tired earlier, and you didn't let me take a nap. So then we like get there, and like we get inside, and as we're getting inside, he's kind of like walking me around or whatever, showing me like the club, introduces me to his cousin. And we like stopped through one little part, which is like where a bunch of private tables are. And in that place, there was a specific person that I immediately recognized from Love Island, a very tall and very attractive man. And this man looks at me, checks me out for a second. We make eye contact, and the dude I was with like catches it, and you could just see him visibly get mad. And then he's like walking me around over to where his cousin had a table. He like walked me to the bathroom at one point, actually twice. He walked me to the bathroom and like stood outside the bathroom for me to be done. And like, instead of just like me going to the bathroom and then walking back. And so at first I was like, oh, he's just making sure that I'm good. Like, we're in a place that I'm not from. Like, I don't know anyone here. Like, you know, maybe he's just being protective, whatever, like trying to be respectful. So then, like, go to the bathroom, we go up to the table, and, like, there's this really drunk girl who had a table next to us who kept bumping into me. So I, like, got and stood up on, like, the little bench part where a bunch of people were sitting, and I'm just, like, standing directly behind him, by the way. And at one point, a song that I like came on, and so I'm, like, dancing, like, vibing by myself because he's faced the other way, not conversing with me at all. And the dude that was sitting stands up, and he's like, dude, you're a vibe, starts dancing next to me, says hi, whatever, introduces himself, and I tell him my name, and then I go back to dancing, not even facing the dude, I'm facing the guy that I was there with. And then like I had to go to the restroom again. He walks with me and is like literally like on my ass, like walking me directly to the door, like from the line, instead of just like kind of waiting nearby. And then like we go back and we're about the table again, and then I just like stepped down from like being up on top, and I was like just sitting on the floor. This girl like comes up and compliments my hair, and I was like, oh, thank you, you're so kind, whatever. A good song comes on, I'm dancing with this girl, like we're having a blast, like we're just vibing. And this random bald dude comes up, and he's like talking to the girl that was like talking to me, and she said something about his bald head, and he's like, feel it. And she like feels it. She's like, oh my God, it's so smooth, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, you should feel it. And I'm like, no, I'm good. And then he's like, no, just feel it. And then I like kind of patted his head, whatever, no big deal, like nothing crazy. And then I go back to dancing, and then I'm like, oh shit, it's like the club's about to close in like 5 minutes. I'm going to run and go pee really quick. Well, I probably should have told him like, oh, I'm going to pee really quick, I'll be right back. But I just like went off, like trying to get it done quickly, when I was in the bathroom, there was like girls looking for a phone, and I heard a beeping noise coming from the trash. So I'm like, are you guys looking for a phone? Like, we're talking, whatever. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's in the trash because I heard something. And they're like, oh my God, you saved us, blah, blah. I talked to them for a second, and then I like walk out to go like find, and then everyone's like leaving the club, like, because it's like closing. And then I see him, and I walk towards him, but then he like disappears into the crowd, and I'm like, shit, where did he go? And I'm like standing near the exit, but I'm also like by where those tables are, and whatever. So I'm standing near the exit, and I'm texting him, and he had texted me several times, like, where did you go, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, I was in the restroom, sorry, like, where are you at? And I'm like waiting by the exit, thinking that he's gonna pass by eventually. And then I find out he left the club. Like, he just dipped. So now it makes me realize he wasn't like staying on my ass. He wasn't like walking with me to the bathroom to make sure I was good. He was doing that because he didn't want me to interact with anyone else, and he was like just being a weirdo. So then like we get in the car, and he's pissed that he's like, where did you go, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I went to the bathroom, sorry, I should have texted you. I just was trying to get it done really quickly because I knew the club was about to close. And then we're like going to the next spot, like an after, and he's like, my cousin thinks that it's weird that you were not like dancing on me, that you were like not showing me any attention, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, that's just not me. Like, I am not the person who bumps and grinds. I just dance by myself or with my girls. I don't know you. I'm not going to be all over you. Like, that's just, and he's like, well, I also thought it was weird that you were falling asleep in the car, but as soon as we got in the club, you like are dancing and like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you mean when we were driving for 20 minutes with the heater in my face in silence, like, you're surprised I was sleepy in that situation and then got energized when I got a drink and was in a club with loud music and people dancing? Like, what? This man's been pursuing me for months, keeps saying that he's going to pay for everything whenever I decide to come see him, blah, blah, blah. And I reiterated that during this time when I did agree to come, that I can't pay for anything because I've been dealing with a lot of medical bills and all this stuff. And like, it's just not in my budget. So then he's like, yeah, no worries. I got you. I'll pay for everything. But then somehow it ends up him saying, like, I always fly people out, and I've had women, like, just ditch me or whatever, so I don't feel comfortable paying for the flight, but if you pay for it, I'll give you cash whenever you get here. And I said yes, but I probably should have just said no, because that was a red flag. Anyway, so I get there, all the plans get canceled somehow, and somehow I'm in his loft and not in a hotel where I was told I would be. His loft is disgusting. We're playing a card game, and the card game is like basically a bunch of sexual questions, and some of them get a little uncomfortable for me because he's like trying to like touch me and get close, and I'm like, setting up boundaries, and apparently he didn't like that. So after we played the game, he like was sulking and like pouting for a little bit, and I asked what was wrong, and he was like, well, I'm trying, and you're giving me nothing. And I was just very honest, and I'm like, well, I'm not a physical person. When I just first meet a person, it takes me time, so I don't know what to tell you. We go to the club, he's still patting, and he's like up, like being very, very close to me, like basically monitoring me. And he's told me several stories about how like girls that he's brought around have left with his friends, and like, he just is very insecure, basically. We're at the club, and he's following me around a lot. I went to the bathroom one time, and he was like literally standing right outside the door. Go back to the table. I saw this girl, we're dancing together, a random dude had me like feel his bald head, and I was like, whatever, but I did it. I go to the bathroom on my own. He like freaks out and it's like tripping because I went to the bathroom without telling him. He leaves the club. I'm like looking for him inside the club thinking that he's still there, and then I realize he just left. I go outside and find him, and then we're like in the car going to an after, and he starts complaining about the fact that his cousin thinks that I'm being weird because I'm not dancing on him, and that basically that I'm not giving him a lot of attention, blah, blah, blah. We go to the after, and I'm like, well, I'm tired, let's go back. We go back, and he keeps trying to like touch on me or whatever, and I'm just like tired. I'm like, I'm not having this. I'm not interested. You're icky. Like, the way that you handle yourself, you're so insecure. Like, your place is dirty, whatever. I fall asleep. I wake up in the morning, and he's like, it's like early as it's like, maybe it was like 6:30, and he's like awake on his phone, like facing me and like giving me like looks and stuff, and I'm just like, oh, good morning. And he asked me if I wanted to cuddle naked, and what? I didn't know we were at 14, and he's like, we don't have to do anything. I just want to cuddle, and I'm like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. And then he gets mad, and starts pouting on his phone, like facing the other way. And then eventually he just gets up and goes into the living room and then starts like blasting a movie. And I'm like, okay, real mature. So I'm like, whatever, at least I'll be able to get some sleep because you're not anywhere near me right now. So I sleep for a little bit. I wake up. The movie's loud as fuck. So I go in there and I'm like, okay. I had text my friend like, girl, you're going to have to probably rescue me today. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm so uncomfortable. I don't want to be here. And she's like, oh, okay, like, I'll get my errands done, whatever, and I'll be available. So then I go in there and ask him, like, what's up? Like, how's it going? And he doesn't really say much. He's, like, on his phone. And then he gets up and, like, starts, like, getting ready. He, like, makes himself food, like, doing all this stuff. And then I'm just, like, sitting there, like, okay. And then about an hour goes by, and I'm like, okay, so what's up? Like, what's the plan? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, well, both of us are uncomfortable, so I think that I should just get a flight home. And he's like, well, I just wanted you to have fun, and it's just very obvious that you're not, blah, blah. He's trying to blame it on me why he's in a piss-ass mood. And I'm like, and then he brings up, in that game we were playing, you said that you have sent a nude 2 weeks ago, but you won't show me even a booty pic. You said that you've had a one-night stand before, but you won't let me touch you. And then he's like, but you're okay with, like, touching a guy's head in the club. I'm like, you're jealous of me patting a bald man's head? Like, he wanted me to feel how smooth his bald head was, and you're jealous of that, bro? Like, Jesus, yuck. You are so icky. So we're, like, going back and forth for a solid hour. And I just, like, in the middle of it, I'm so done. I just pull out my phone, and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm still listening. He's like, it doesn't seem like it. I'm like, I'm listening, but I'm also booking my flight because I'm leaving. Like, I do not want to be here. And then we're going back and forth, and he's like, so were you ever interested? I'm like, I was interested, and then I got here, and now I'm not. Like, there's been so many things happen. Like, I didn't know that you could have this many issues with a person. And this is less than 24 hours, by the way. I haven't even been there a full 24 hours. Like, I landed at 12. He got me at, like, 12:30-ish, almost 1. And this is, like, literally noon the next day, and I'm, like, losing my mind. Like, get me out of here. So then he's like, okay. After a while, he kind of, like, just agrees. Like, he keeps trying to convince me that it's all on my side, that I'm the only one not interested. And I'm like, well, you feel rejected. You keep saying, at one point, I was like, do you need validation or something? And he was like, no, I don't need validation. But then he, like, went on this whole spiel about how, like, I don't compliment him. And I'm just like, bro, I've been around you for 24 hours. We're not in I was in a relationship for 6 years, and this shit didn't come up for years, bro. Like, this is insane. Anyway, so I booked the flight, and I'm like, okay, well, that's that. So then he is, like, off getting ready or whatever, comes back, and wearing a do-rag, by the way, and he's bald, so I don't know why the he put that on. He's like, well, I'm going to go hang out with some friends. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, well, I could just take you to the airport now. And I'm like, okay, bet. I'm actually good with that because I think the airport might be cleaner than this place that I'm in. So then my stuff was already, like, very collected. I just, like, literally put on some of the things I was already wearing because I was not about to shower there. I got ready. We go to the airport. On the way to the airport, I'm like, so are you going to stop to get the money to pay for my flight like you said you would? And he's like, well, I don't think that I should have to. I'm sorry? He's like, well, I didn't get the experience that I was told I would get. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, like, you just haven't been giving me anything, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, I came here because you told me you would pay for everything. The only reason I'm here is because you told me you were going to pay for my flight. Otherwise, I would not be here. And he's like, yeah, well, I was told that I would get certain experiences. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, you made me buy condoms. You said you wouldn't have sex with me without condoms. I'm like, yeah, I don't have unprotected sex. That doesn't mean that I'm required to have sex with you. And he's like, well, that's not what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, what are you saying then? And he kept saying, well, I'm just saying, like, people sometimes pay for experiences. I'm like, what the f- do you mean experiences? I'm like, I'm not required to touch you, bro. And just because we didn't get along doesn't mean that you don't have to hold up your end and pay for my flight like you said you would. You said you would. You haven't paid for anything. And he's like, well, I put in all this effort. Goes on this whole thing again about how much effort he put in. Bro didn't even fill up his car with gas before he picked me up. Like, didn't even clean his house. He couldn't even be bothered to pretend to be a clean person for 24 hours. Like, you couldn't even wear your mask for 24 hours. I already found out how gross you are within like the first couple hours of meeting you.
Yeah, she went on too long about this whole situation. Like, I mean, if you didn't figure this out by now, if you think you're lonely now, wait until tonight, girl. Hey, man. I don't know. I just don't understand with this whole story. I get it. I get it, but I don't. You need more discernment, lady. Is this what we call decentering men? Okay, you meet a guy that you've been chasing you for months on Tinder, said he was gonna buy everything, but then he don't buy the flight. You know, like, come on, man, stop the cap. Stop the cap. What are we really doing? Yes, she dodged a bullet. She dodged a freight. No, she didn't dodge a bullet. She actually got hit with the bullet, but it grazed her. It grazed her because her stupid ass was out there. Okay. And the fact that she was like, all right, yeah. And the fact that she got away is like, all right, she made it to the hospital. But no, she directly ran. What dodging a bullet is dating a guy and then or talking to a guy and then just like I sense something weird from him and then not talking to him no more. And then seeing another TikTok story about the same guy and then being like, I saw old girl story time about him and let me tell you what grossed me out about that's dodging a bullet. She got hit. She was in a line of fire and got hit. Ricky, she didn't die. She did not die. Okay. The saxophones was playing the entire. You know, I don't know if y'all are tired of the saxophones being played, but I'm kind of tired of the saxophones being played because it's being played out at this point. Because everything we do in life, there's damn near a saxophone being. Every time I go to the grocery store and every time I ring something up, I hear the saxophones play, okay? I don't know if y'all hear the same thing. Every time I gotta go, matter of fact, I'm finna go put some gas in my truck right now because my daughter got practice in the morning and she gotta have gas in the car. But every time I get in my truck and I go put gas in, I hear the saxophones playing, man. Everyday people, man, let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section.